socially learned, a cross-gendered leisure activity project. Fishing, also called angling, dates back thousands of years BC as a need for survival. Ancient civilization fished for food, not sport. They used whatever methods worked, from spears and clubs to makeshift traps. Anthropologists determined that the male species was the hunter and the female was more proficient at gathering. Females also provided care and nurturing for their children. This was the beginning of the societal differences. There are not a lot of recorded facts about women's leisure activities. However, it has been documented that in 1496, the first fishing book written in English included the article Treatise of Fishing with an Angle by a nun named Dame Juliana Berners. Centuries after Miss Berners, another woman, Mary Orvis Marbury, wrote a book in 1892 entitled Favorite Flies and Their History. Slowly, fishing is making its way into the female gender's hands. In the 1980s, overall participation in fishing was increased and women comprised the fastest growing segment of new anglers, though data from the 1990 U.S. Census shows that approximately 95% of fishermen are men. Interestingly, females are taking over the sport in another way. A new fashion craze is consuming all the fly fishing feathers. Katie Zazima wrote in the New York Times, "Fly fishing shops around the country are suddenly inundated with stylish women looking to get in on the latest trend, long, colorful feathers that are bonded or clipped into hair." Fishing, traditionally a male sport, is a sport that does not require an extraordinary amount of strength. It's a sport of agility, finesse, and patience, skills many women already possess. Some women say they feel they are too weak to fish. As one fisherman and his wife observed, "You don't even really need to be that strong. It's more of a stamina type thing than it is strength." Change has been slow for women to feel included in the sport of fishing because they were not taught to enjoy the sport. Fishing is socially learned. There are differences in the way parents introduce fishing to their male and female children at a very early age. Young boys are encouraged to go out fishing with their dads for a day of fishing and bonding, while young girls often are not given the opportunity. It was tradition a young girl would stay home with her mother and play with her dolls or do housework, being taught conventional gender roles. My husband used to fish before our children were born, and years ago has taken them both out of fishing a few times. He had given up on the adventures after they had zero interest in the fishing. My curiosity was intrigued when my son, now 11, immediately asked if he could come with me on my gender activity. My daughter, now 14, was indifferent. My children have had the same opportunities, even with household chores. Why is this traditionally gender-specific sport showing its face in my house? I'm hoping Victoria has not learned what Bax believed, that women should not pursue leisure activities that are physical because women are mentally inferior. Before we went on this leisure fishing trip, I had to make sure everyone was ready with plenty of food, water, and gear for the trip. I went into this activity expecting to have fun. I always do with my family. However, in order to stay for a few hours or until I caught my first fish, I had to prepare for our outing. That could be considered as work rather than leisure, implying that women's efforts in providing leisure for their children may sometimes be at the expense of their own personal leisure experiences. Have I started my leisure part yet? Not losing the fly fishing equipment was my biggest challenge. Staying interested in the different knots and bait was another challenge. It was a beautiful evening, but I could not wait to go home. However, I wanted to catch a fish to prove to myself I could do it. I had doubts, not because I'm female, but because I did not know what I was doing. I wanted to show my children a woman can do anything she puts her mind to. I appreciate how far feminism has come, and what women can and are willing to do. Ironically, I have noticed more sexist remarks in the past 6 weeks during this class. Apparently, sexist jokes are the norm. I'm sure some men don't even realize that they're saying such sexist things. In any atmosphere, sexual discriminatory language can promote an unwelcoming climate for women. Gender equality is a work in progress, and may it eventually come to fruition. As fun as this day was, I will most likely let my husband have the future fun fishing trips with the kids. I have too many other things on my plate that take priority over fishing. But as one fisherman points out, there's no better way to end a day than to stand in the water and watch the sun go down. Doesn't get any better than that.